you for this beautiful, beautiful day you've given to us today. We thank you for all the hard work that's gone in to this evening, not only from the students, but also the judges. And we thank you for all the work that Professor Grossman and Tammy Meyer have put in, and our student CEOs as well, to try to make this a really memorable and eventful evening. And so we thank you for that. We ask that we would have a great time this evening and be encouraged by the work that's been done, and we give you all the glory for that. For it's in your Son's name we ask all these things. Amen.
Okay, we're going to get started here soon. Let me make sure we advance this here. And so our schedule, we're going to do the ventures, and I mentioned this earlier. Micah Bradley, that's our alumni, he's sitting right here. And we'll have a discussion with Micah on how this program has assisted him. And I mentioned the high school results, high school ventures and final results. Here's a reminder. The judges have $10,000 in funds to distribute. The rules are pretty simple. They can give one venture $10,000, but the first place will get a minimum of $5,000. They can decide what they want to do for the next two. So the three ventures that they choose to invest in can also be one of the fan favorites. There's no, what you choose could be what their choice is, or it could be completely different. So that's what we're doing with the People's Choice Award. All right, so make sure you sign in if you haven't done that, because we're going to do our first giveaway. So if you haven't signed in, now's the time to get that barcode. And could you come on up? I have some help here to get us through our first drawing. All right, who do we have? What's the name?
Joseph Larson.
And you must be present to win. Yeah. Excellent. All right. So we are going to get started here. And our first, I get some notes here. Our first presenter is a little different tonight. Our first team, or for actually individual, is Charity Yenger, and her venture is called Grainless. Now, Charity's not physically here right now. So a little bit different for our first presentation. We have a recorded video of her presentation. That will be the only one like this. There was a family situation, and it was necessary. So we're going to watch that, but we will have Charity live for Q&A with the judges here in a moment. Let's, Matt, can you cue us up? All right.
Hi, my name is Charity Yenger, and today I'm going to be talking to you about a company called Grainless. So there's something called celiac disease, and a lot of people know what it is, but some people don't know what it is. There's been times where I've walked into a restaurant and said, hey, I have celiac disease, can you please be careful while preparing this? And whoever's taking my order looks at me like I have two heads, and that's just awkward for both of us. So before we begin, let's define what celiac disease is, and then we can go from there. So celiac.org defines celiac as a serious autoimmune disease that occurs in genetically predisposed people where the ingestion of gluten leads to damage in the small intestine. And something that a lot of people don't know is that this can occur at any age. So for me, it started at age 18. So let's talk about why this is a big deal. First of all, there's the issue of cost. In the UK, there's shoppers that are on a gluten-free diet, and they're paying 37% more than people who are able to eat foods with gluten in them. And 4% of the people who have celiac disease or gluten-free needs are still eating gluten, even despite of the health concerns, just because they can't afford the alternatives. There's also a lack of knowledge about it. Like I said earlier, I would go into a restaurant, and they'd look at me like I have two heads because they have no idea what celiac disease is. Or like I'd go to someone's house and they'd feed me food, and then I'd be like, wait a second, and this is on me. Did this have soy sauce in it? And they'd be like, yeah, but that's gluten-free, right? And no, it is actually not. It's awkward for both of us, and then I am sick 2 hours later. Not fun for me. It's also pretty isolating, which is something a lot of people probably don't think about. When people gather, there's food 99% of the time. And so imagine that everyone has this big feast and you get the salad because that's the dedicated gluten-free thing, and then they bring out desserts and you get water or a fun drink or whatever. Yeah, of course, it's the healthier alternative, but sometimes that can be frustrating to be in a group of people and you're the only one who can't partake in something. And don't get me wrong, I am very lucky. The people around me are so conscious of the fact that I have celiac disease, and I have plenty of options around me most of the time, but that is definitely not the case for everybody. And it's honestly pretty sad. So let's talk about a solution. Grainless, a one-stop shop. It has the solutions for you. Imagine that you are in the shoes of someone who has celiac disease, and there's really nobody that you can talk to about it. You don't really have any friends that have celiac disease, but then there's a website that has recipes for you, products for you, and a way that you can talk with other people and share your thoughts and share, like, hey, I did this when I was with this group of people and I couldn't eat anything, and it really helped me feel better about things. Gives gluten-free recipes, products, and community. And that kind of impact isn't just possible, it's needed. In the US alone, about 2 million people live with celiac disease. And there's an estimated $12.9 billion in the global gluten-free market. And experts believe that that number is going to jump 9.9% compound annual growth rate to a staggering $33 billion in 2034. In 2022, the North American gluten-free food market alone was $2.3 billion. So obviously the opportunities here are absolutely endless. And there are millions of people that fit the target market that I have of those living with celiac disease, ages 18 to 35, and particularly women. And that's a huge market. And obviously, no target market is perfect, so let's talk about a SWOT analysis. Of course, there's tons of strengths that come with Grainless, including growing market domains. The prevalence of celiac disease is on the rise and has been for the last 5 years or so. There's also a niche focus. We have the ability to focus on a specific group of people. Our target market is smaller and it's more concentrated. There's health trends. Going gluten-free without having any dietary need to is definitely becoming a trend. It's also a comprehensive solution. We offer both gluten-free recipes and products, as well as community, like I mentioned earlier, and we'll have a one-stop shop for those who are looking. There are also weaknesses, of course. Any business has them. High competition. Like I said earlier, the global gluten-free market is massive, which means there's a large pool of competition. People are also not necessarily educated about what cross-contamination can look like, and so if they're not aware, it couldn't necessarily work for them. There's also supply chain complexity. Getting the materials to make the products might get complicated due to a lack of diversity. And lastly, there's customer retention. Attracting customers at the beginning may be a little bit easier than it will be to keep them around in the end. Like I mentioned, with a huge target market and the huge global gluten-free market, there is a huge opportunity here for many things. But first of all, let's talk partnerships. We can partner with foundations and other brands based on gluten-free products and get brand awareness for us in them. We also will have a subscription model. At first, that will just be one premium subscription, but at some point, that could be 5 different types of subscriptions. Educational content. People know that there's something called celiac disease, but they may not know exactly what it is or some of the side effects, like you can get a rash from it. You can have joint pain, you can have fatigue, headaches. All of these and a whole bunch of other things can happen when you have celiac disease, and it can be scary for someone who knows they have celiac disease but may not know exactly why something is happening. Huge opportunity for expansion here as well. I'm going to go back one more time to the huge target market and the huge global gluten-free market. Expansion can happen. Lastly, let's talk about some threats. There are regulations when we're talking about dedicated gluten-free food. Have to follow different regulations to a T, make sure customers are safe, make sure they're healthy. There's also always changing customer preferences. Sometimes it can be hard to keep up with what customers are looking for, but we plan to do that well. Changing economy. The economy hasn't been steady. Look at the stock market. But yeah, that could definitely pose a threat for us in the future financially. There's also supply chain disruptions. Our company does depend on the healthy supply chain, consistent supply chain, because of how diverse or how the lack of diversity that we have in our products. So here's how I plan to make this dream a reality. I'm going to hire a recipe specialist for about $1,000 at the startup, and that's just going to be a startup expense, because after that I'm going to build off of their recipes and put in some recipes that I've made of my own. And then we also have to obtain product to sell. So at the beginning, we're not going to have any inventory. Plan to do a pre-sale, see how many people are interested, and then go from there. The only product that we're going to be selling at the very beginning is a gluten-free flour blend, and it only has 2 ingredients in it: rice flour and psyllium husk. You're probably not even going to know what psyllium husk is, but it helps with the taste of bread and makes it not necessarily taste like sandpaper when you're eating it. Helps gluten-free people feel like they're eating actual substance. So we'll have a 35% profit margin with our product purchases, and then our premium recipe subscriptions are going to be $8 a month, We also plan to hire a financial specialist and a sales specialist at some point if finances and sales get too big for me to handle. But I'm not planning on doing this necessarily full time. So I will take it one day at a time. And the production of flour would take place right here in Warsaw in my own home because of a low volume of sales that we were expecting. So let's take a look at the Vibrant forecast. 500 people sign up for the recipe subscription. That makes us $4,000 a month. And if 1,000 pounds of flour in the first year are sold, that's about 83 pounds per month, which I can tangibly make by myself. And that gives us about $426 in revenue without looking at the cost of goods sold. So that's how we get the $53,120 in total revenue that first year. And after the first year, we're going to assume growth. And we hope to get to that six-figure net income in year 5, but that's not planning for any storefront that we might purchase or expansion or anything like that. That's just planning on selling that one product and selling this one recipe subscription. So let's talk about competitor. The biggest competitor is called the Loopy Whisk, and she just came out with a new cookbook that is fantastic. I use some of her recipes. Her recipes are top tier in the gluten-free world, and Grainless's could be too. So while celiac disease may not be a well-known condition, 2 million people alone in America are affected by it. So will you help me help them? Hi, my name is Trudy Yinger, and today I'm going to be talking to you about a company called Grainless.
Well, Matt, were you able to get that up? All right. So just give us a moment while we work through the technology. Okay, so I'm going to put this down so the judges can use it.
A couple questions. Did you have a specific ask on funding, and how did you plan to use that? And then also, I love that you're solving one of your own problems, being that you understand the problems of celiac. And are you doing anything yet to create content or to start trying to sell products in this space?
Yeah, so really the only ask here is $1,000 to get that recipe specialist to help me out with some of the recipes that I've already come up with, refine them, make them better, because the website domain is cheap. It'd only be about $35 or $40 per month, which is a doable cost. And then no, I haven't tried filling any product yet. Have limited time as a college student graduating soon, so it's something that I would like to do, but nothing that I've been able to do yet.
Can you provide a little bit more information on the subscription revenue? How much are you looking to charge each individual, and what is it that they'd be paying for? Is it access to the recipes, for example?
Yeah, so like I mentioned in the video, it would be about $8 per month for the premium subscription. So there would be some recipes that would be free to get people hooked on it or just interested in general. And then past that, if they want access to more, then they would pay the $8 fee a month for the premium recipe subscription.
As you mentioned, you have a lot of competition in the space. What separates you from everyone else? Why would they buy their flour from you? Why would they pay for subscriptions, a subscription fee for your recipes?
What sets me apart is, like I said in the video, it's a one-stop shop. There's everything that we have. A lot of places just have recipes or they just have products. And it's a lot of times, so like for instance, the Loopy Whisk, she gives recipes and she has all of these like crazy ingredients but doesn't tell you where to buy them. So like psyllium husk is something that I had to do my own research on and say, okay, I can get that from Amazon, but it's really expensive. So here's another store that I can get it from for a little bit cheaper. But she does not give any guidance at all with that. And with Grainless, it would be, there's guidance on where to get it, / you can buy it straight from the website itself. Plus you can talk to other people. There's a community aspect of the website as well, of saying, hey, I'm from this area. Is there a place where you can get cheaper gluten-free options that I can get immediately instead of waiting for it to be shipped from the site.
So you'll have products in addition to the flour?
Not in the beginning, but that is the hope and the goal.
Do you have any specific strategies as to how you're going to get your name out there and build that subscription base?
Other than social media and word of mouth advertising at this point, I wanted to take just a small market at the beginning. So the addressable market that I could really reach right now is schools that are also Grace Colleges in the Crossroads League. And so to talk to other people who are from schools in that Crossroads League and get them on board with it, because there are plenty of people who have celiac disease or are gluten sensitive in this world. So at first advertising through social media and through word of mouth, and then from there using that revenue to use other things.
And then, the challenge is how often would you be coming up with new recipes or offering new products to keep your customers coming back and maintaining that subscription? Is that a challenge that you see?
Yeah, absolutely. That could definitely be a challenge. I think the goal would be to come out with new recipes every week, every couple weeks, to keep people wanting to refresh the feed and keep up with that premium subscription so that they're not missing anything and they're getting the recipes as they come out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Multiple screens going on. We just need to get back to where we were so we can advance it. All right. So, anyone want to be a winner for another prize? We're time for another prize. All right. I think you guys could be a little bit louder, a little more excited. Yes? Yeah. All right. Okay. So we need another winner. You know the name?
I do. Alexis Brunswick.
Alexis Brunswick. Must be present to win. A very happy customer there, it looks like. So don't forget to sign in. Just a reminder, if you haven't done this, we had some people just walked in. Scan this barcode now so you can be a future winner, or if you're here to get some extra credit. And I'm going to move the slide here in a moment. So we are going to keep things moving. Yeah. All right, so our next venture is the College Companion with Aiden McCarthy. Aiden is currently a junior majoring in finance. He's also a member of our college track team. Let's welcome Aiden, and we're going to hear about the College Companion. Let's give him a round of applause.
Can everyone hear me? All right, sweet. All right, yeah, I'm Aiden McCarty, second-year student at Grace College, and I'm here to share an app I created out of app concept I created out of personal need, the College Companion app. It's a one-stop platform that brings together everything students need to manage college life all in one place. So I'm going to ask a question. During your college years, how many of you have felt like this? Or this? Or even this? So all of that may have led to you feeling isolated and burnt out, and we're here to fix that. So here's the problem. College life is overwhelming. From at least my personal experience and students I know, use at least 5+ apps every day for school, budgeting, housing, events, but none of them really work together. On the university side, student services are scattered, and that lack of connection hurts retention and engagement. So here's some research we did. I took a survey and I asked friends of mine and random students around Grace and other universities, what is the toughest part that they find about college? So a lot of them said managing tasks, assignments, keeping track of finances, and other types of financial related items. And so there is a need that they feel very disorganized. And so I asked, if there were an app designed to help students with these challenges all in one single application, would you use it? If you graduated, would you have used it? And a lot of them said yes. Some said maybe. And then my brother, he was trolling me a little on the survey. He said no. And I said, would you prefer a university-sponsored subscription where this college, university school pays for the app for all students? A lot of them said yes. Brother said no again. So the research is, the market value, there's 19 million plus college students in the US, and colleges spend millions yearly on student engagement platforms, and retention improving tools can save colleges $500,000 to $1 million annually. And so my story, as a student athlete, I constantly juggled deadlines, workouts, and life, and I was stressed and disorganized with even all the tools I had. Talking to classmates, I realized I wasn't alone, and that's why I knew something had to change. So what I developed here is a concept for an all-in-one app that actually works for students. It includes tools for academics, social life, finances, housing, and wellness all in one place. Everything was shaped by real feedback from all the students across multiple majors. So the College Companion app includes AI-powered academic dashboard, budget tracker and finance tools, housing and roommate search, social board for club and events, a wellness hub, and it syncs with campus systems to keep students updated. So this is kind of what like a prototype would look like. This is the dashboard. You got your schedule tasks, courses, housing, finances, wellness, and it shows you down there at the bottom like what you have upcoming in your schedule and what you need to be prepared for. The next slide is what the task planner could look like. It shows the schedule, the date, and it helps you plan out your day so you're not overwhelmed with like having to go to a bunch of different apps just to plan everything out. Here's the housing and roommates section. You see the Lakeside Apartments, Pinecrest Dorm. This helps you show off-campus housing, but also if the colleges want, they could put their on-campus housing on there. It shows the price. And then you can also find your roommates, match roommates by interest, major, lifestyle. So yeah, I feel like that is provided, but like not in an app that has everything all together. And then here's the finance section. So there are a lot of finance apps out there, but a lot of them are just by themselves. This would be included with everything else in the College Companion app. So it also connects to your other finance apps. Like if you have a debit card, you can connect it to the app. And it will help you organize and budget so you're not scrambling through a bunch of apps just to find everything you need. And then here's the wellness and connectivity. They have social events at the bottom. So you can join clubs that you are interested in. Upcoming events like sporting events and other special events. And so it would be very nice just to have that all in one spot so you don't have to look through a bunch of different apps just for that. And so our customer profile, obviously we're going after the colleges and departments like student life and academics. Our secondary audience are students, parents, and advertisers. We'll start with pilot schools for the marketing plan. Pilot schools scale through word of mouth and build buzz with campus ambassadors and social media just to get that going around, and so a lot more people know about it. Some of the benefits for students, this is the one app that actually makes college life easier. From assignments to budgeting, events, housing, and connections, it's all in one place. It boosts academics, I feel like it would boost academic success, builds community, and even reduces financial stress. And for freshmen and transfers, it's the perfect guide to navigate college life. Because I definitely wish I would have had something like this when I was a freshman, because it's really tough and stressful just to balance everything with a bunch of random apps and stuff. But also for the colleges, they gain a central tool to boost engagement, improve retention, and unify communication. Plus, with the ad module, schools can generate revenue that exceeds what they pay to license it. It's not just helpful, it's profitable. So if this were to become an actual business, the launch plan, we would hope to get 50 schools in year one. You're like, what? 50 schools, that's like a lot. That doesn't really seem realistic. But here's a timeline where that could work out. So we'll pilot 2 to 3 schools early in the year, and then onboard 10 more by the summer. and then scale to 50 by the year end. We could offer hands-on support and use testimonials and data to drive adoption. Our strategy is realistic, phased, and focused. And so here's the revenue forecast for a 5-year projection. You have the revenue from university subscriptions, revenue from advertising module, in-app purchases, total revenue, and then the expenses, and then the profit. So we project potentially $650,000 in revenue and $250,000 in profit by year 1. By year 5, that grows to $4.75 million revenue and $2.75 million profit. So I think the model is sustainable with revenue from subscriptions, ads, and in-app features. And so like where and how we sell, direct sales to colleges and universities, ed tech and student affairs conferences, email, LinkedIn outreach, and then partnerships with campus tech vendors and ERP systems. And then if we get the award money, we would use it towards app development, legal and licensing, marketing materials and pilot outreach, and then the initial university onboarding and training. That's the end.
Thank you for sharing your pitch with us. What is the title of the person at a college or university that would make the purchasing decision? I think it's $10,000 is what the university would pay. Like, who's the person that you're going to be calling to make this decision?
Like some of the departments and like the head officials, like obviously like the higher up board of education and stuff like that. The ones who are like working the scenes from behind, like the OIT and maintenance stuff like that. That's who we're looking at.
Thank you.
Aiden, way to rock the suit. First impressions matter, and you nailed that. So kudos there. I'm curious about doing the all-in-one. That's a tall order. How long do you think it'll take to build this super app? That'd be the first question.
It's a great question. Obviously, right now it's just me and it's concept, but I think I can, with the money, get a team together, and I'm thinking if we can get it down in within like 8 to 10 months, and then be ready to launch by like the beginning of a year, like in a couple years down the road. I think that's how we get that.
What do you think a full stack developer is going to run you, salary-wise?
It's a great question. I haven't really looked that much into that yet, but obviously quite a bit.
Okay, last question from me. Actually, it slipped my mind, so I will defer.
Who's responsible for selling the ad space then at each of the schools that you've rolled out your app? Is the school finding the advertisers, or is your team finding the advertisers?
My team and the school could also like partner together just to get all that done.
And then can you provide some detail around, you said that there's a lot of disassociated apps that currently exist. There's nobody that's consolidated like what you're suggesting. This would be new to the market. Do you know, are there any barriers do you know why there aren't any unified apps like what you're proposing?
You know, I'd like to think maybe it's just like no one's ever just randomly thought of it, because there's apps like Canvas who do like all the school stuff, and then there's apps like Mint who do the finance stuff, but I just don't think anyone's ever thought about like combining them all together, like for the college setting.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Yeah, just a follow-up on how would you handle data security and the integration? Have you thought through that aspect of it, and how is it reflected in your financial plan?
We'd probably get a team together for that. Again, this is just a very early concept, so along the road, like with award money and stuff, be able to slowly build each thing piece by piece.
A lot of universities do have apps. They're not as comprehensive. How would you convince them to invest in yours? And I guess the second piece of that is that there's a lot of complexity involved with trying to unify them all. It sounded like you haven't investigated deeply into that, but I'm just asking again to see.
Yeah, and yeah, that's a great question. Obviously, being a student athlete and taking 4 classes, it's a very busy schedule. So it's always something I keep in the back of my mind as I'm doing everything else. I think if it were to be successful, like a beta program, maybe schools could see how it's doing. We have a couple early schools just to test it out and see if they like it. Then we could make changes and stuff. And I think if it's successful, then the schools would see that the pilot schools are doing well with it.
What is the absolute minimum version of an app that you would need to create in order to have it provide value to address the concerns that you showed in the pie chart from the students?
Probably, go back here. I would say at least the task planner, the finance, and then like the dashboard. Those would be the big three. These other, the wellness and the housing, those could be like in a version 2 and stuff. But I think the big three would be the top stuff.
Do you have a specific ask from the judges in terms of a dollar amount, and where do you plan to use that?
I think at least maybe a minimum of 5,000 just to get started on like app development and stuff. Maybe more. I have to look more into it, but I think at least 5,000.
I think we're running out of time. But the last question, have you given thought to how, if this is wonderfully successful, how you protect the intellectual property, what you created, so that you don't have somebody else following right behind you creating a similar app?
I think that's something I have to look more into.
Thank you.
Well, if you've been following along, you know what's coming. It's going to be another prize here in a moment. Oops. Well, we are on drawing 3, but if you have not been paying attention, you need to sign in. So here's your opportunity, but you've missed this opportunity. So let's find out who our third winner is.
Brian Schoonover.
Brian. Yeah. Don't take anything out of that bag. All right. Yeah, we'll set it to 8 when it time comes. I keep forgetting to do that, but yes, it's back. Okay. All right, so let's, I know we're excited. I'm glad. Energy's good. But we're here to introduce Lainey. Lainey Loneker, right? I got it right. Took me all semester to get to this point. Lainey is the founder of The Greenhouse. It is another one of our businesses that's actually in motion. So I mentioned we have a lot of businesses that are in flight. Lainey's business is one of those. Lainey is going to be leaving us soon because she is the timer works, I guess. She's a senior in entrepreneurial management, and we want to, let's see what else in my notes, get myself focused. And her presentation is for those who are new to Grace as an entrepreneurial management. This is like her capstone project. So let's welcome Lainey. And get you started.
Hello, my name is Lainey Loneker. So my venture that I'm going to be sharing with you today is called The Greenhouse. The Greenhouse is a non-toxic and sustainable cleaning products business with a mission statement of providing all people with the opportunity to create a safe, clean, and sustainable home. So where did this all start? For me, it all started my freshman year of college when I was on my own. My mom didn't buy my cleaning products, or they just weren't in the cabinet for me anymore. Shocker. So when I started buying my own cleaning products, I really looked at the label and trying to see what was in them. And a lot of the cleaning products, like the big name brands, they have a lot of toxic chemicals in them that are harmful for your health, whether it's your endocrine system, your lungs, your skin. And I really was trying to start avoiding that. And not only that, a lot of the name brand products have plastic packaging. And I felt horrible just throwing it away once I was done with it. And then the single misuse of the bottles. Like, just imagine the pileups and the landfills that you're getting after every single one of us in our households are throwing these out. So then I started to look into some non-toxic cleaners. And while these are good alternatives, they still have their own problems. As a college student, they were way too expensive. The last thing I want to be spending my money on is cleaning products. It's not that interesting. I understand that. And then most of them still come with a plastic bottle. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do. And they're just, a lot of the times I found they weren't as effective as their counterparts. So then I started making my own cleaning products. And the greenhouse was born. The greenhouse, as of now, we have 3 different products: an all-purpose cleaning spray, a glass cleaner, and a dish soap. All of these products are made with non-toxic chemicals, as well as they are put into glass reusable bottles. So my plan for marketing this: I want to sell at local farmers markets. I'm from the Hamilton County, Indiana area, more specifically Noblesville, and my plan is to sell these at the local farmers markets, whether it's in Noblesville, Carmel, Westfield, Fishers, or Cicero. And how this will work is customers will come to the farmers markets, and I'll have a booth there where they can see our products. And also another factor that we have as a competitive advantage is scent customability. So customers will have the choice between 3 of our scents: lemon, eucalyptus, and lavender. And while they're at our booth, they can smell which one they would prefer and add it into their bottle. And not only that, customers who are coming back to our booth, they can bring their bottles with them and get them refilled for a discounted price. Well, you might be saying, well, your mission statement said all people. Okay, well, we'll have a website as well where customers can go on there and they can see what our company is about, pick their scents when they go to order their products, as well as be able to pick between a UPS shipping, or they can do delivery. So for delivery, how that will work is if customers, when they go online to order our product, if they are in the Hamilton County area and have a Hamilton County address, they can click the delivery option. Deliveries will be made Tuesdays and Thursdays. If customers are living on the east side, their products will be delivered on a Tuesday. If they live on the west side, it will be delivered on a Thursday. And then customers who live outside of this radius will just get the standard shipping option. And this is a flat rate delivery fee. It's going to be $2.49. So no matter if they have 10 bottles or 5, it's going to be $2.49 to keep that charge low so people can still afford to have these non-toxic products in their house and not have to make a cost an issue for them. Here are some before and afters I've included. The first one is my stovetop in my on-campus apartment. It was pretty dirty one day, so I decided to wipe it down and do something nice for my roommates. And with a little bit of elbow grease, it looked pretty bright and shiny after that. And then same thing with our glass cleaner. My laptop had a lot of fingerprints all over it, so I decided to wipe that down too, and it looked almost brand new. So getting into some market research, I did a survey myself and sent it out to a few respondents. And what I found was the most concerns that customers have are the toxic chemicals that are in their cleaning products, the effectiveness of the cleaning products themselves, cost, and also sustainability. So the people who I'm trying to market to are health gurus, those who don't want those toxic chemicals in their home, young families, those who could be concerned about the consequences of their child or their pet getting into those cleaning products. Just imagine if your young child or your dog got into your Dawn dish soap or your Lysol cleaning spray. Probably be a really expensive vet visit at best, if not, could be even worse. The cleaning products industry is a $33.23 billion industry in the United States, and it's continually growing. By 2030, it's projected to hit $51.34 billion. So here's some of our pricing. Our all-purpose cleaner will sell for $6.99, the refill $3.49. The refill punch cards are good for 5 refills, and you can get that at an even more discounted rate at $12 for 5. Glass cleaner, $5, $2.99 a refill, $10 for the punch card on that one. Dish soap is $6.99 with a $3.99 refill, and $15 for the 5 punch refill on that card. Here are some of our profit margins that you can look at. Our lowest profit margin being our dish soap refill punch card at 44.33%, and then our highest profit margin being our glass cleaner refill being an 87.95, almost 88% profit margin. Here's my my income statement for the first 5 years as a projection. First year, we're looking at a revenue of $25,000 and then a net income of 10. By year 5, I'm hoping to make a 10% increase year after year. By year 5, hitting a $33,000 revenue goal and making $16,000 plus in net income. And then this is my 1-year sales forecast projection as well. As you can see, in the months of January, February, and March and April, and then skipping over to October, November, December, a slower rate of sales just because that's not when the farmers markets are going on, so it's only going to be online traffic during those months. And then the height of sales being the peak of the summer when farmers markets are the most rampant. So, after listening to my little speech, it's time to have a safe and sustainable home. Make your home a greenhouse. Thank you.
Really nicely done.
Thank you.
My wife and I, we go to the Carmel Farmers Market, and we'd be a customer for sure.
Oh, thank you.
I'm curious. You started the pitch. Really, you gave the perspective of a college student looking for a solution that's price sensitive.
Yes.
And then we're looking to really sell more into the suburbs where maybe a bottle of cleaning isn't such a stressor on the wallet. How does your product compare in the quality of the clean compared to other all-natural solutions?
Yeah, of course. So like I said, I've tried multiple other non-toxic brands before in the past, and some of them do a really good job, but it's just, for the cost that they have, I knew that they could be better, and with me being able to formulate my own, I could add, okay, well, this one's good, but it's not really getting that grime off as much. Like, what ingredient is the one that's going to get that? So for, like, example, our all-purpose cleaner has rubbing alcohol in it as one of its antibacterial agents. By increasing the volume that I put into the glass cleaner of that one, I'm able to really curate more specifically what kind of messes I can get with it and be a better target for those messes. So that, I would say, would be a biggest advantage. And also being able to, release different models as well.
Does your price include any of your time, any labor?
It does not. The pricing, so with like I said, with the profit margins that I'm hitting, I obviously am paying myself. But no, because I am the only one that would be working on these products, it's all my labor. And so I've accounted for that when it came to my income statement for my time. But no, I'm not directly taking it out first.
Well, I really like the logo and the simplicity of just the labeling and product. It looks really attractive. Is there anything behind the logo?
I was just trying to think of a play on words, honestly. Like, I love plants. I like greenhouses, but then I'm like, okay, well, these are cleaning products for people who are probably having a more greener mindset and wanting that kind of stuff in their house. I'm like, well, greenhouse, like that could work. And so I kind of just fell in love with it once I kind of put it together and just ran with it, yeah.
Have you done a proof of concept with a fair yet to test your numbers?
I have not, no.
Okay. Have you checked into any of the regulations around the product liability?
Yeah, so for the state of Indiana, what I would need is product liability insurance. So that is something that I would have to have, as well as before I were able to market these, one thing I would have to add is a label on the back, which would be really simple, but the listing the ingredients that are on the back is something that I would have to do as well.
And so you've been in your dorm room doing formulations?
Yeah, well, me and my mom as well. My mom is starting to hop on the all-natural bandwagon, so to speak. So me and her have kind of been playing around with that stuff. Like, she's even more advanced. She's making her own laundry detergent and all that, which is actually stuff that I would love to add into this. So I would like to add more products. It's something that I enjoy. So, yeah.
Are you planning to pay taxes?
Yep. Or, well, sorry, no. Actually, no. Because if you... Yes and no. So because I'm the only one with 100% ownership and wanting to file as an LLC, it'll be a pass-through tax because everything will be a business expense and reported in there as such. And so it will be on my personal taxes, everything, yeah.
I have 3 kids in college, so I can appreciate the price sensitivity to cleaning agents and so forth. But it seems as though you're trying to market it to more of an upscale audience, which is, I think, what you were referring to when you're talking about Carmel and Fishers and things of that nature. Glass bottle. Do you think that folks would actually be willing to pay more? Because my concern is about your long-term sustainability. I don't know how many years you're going to want to work for the income that you've stated, but as long as they're effective, I'm wondering if you're not charging enough. And I also want to know, do you drive a Prius? Or
I do drive a very small car, but yes.
to deliver for $249, I think you might want to consider revising up some of your numbers, because I think you've got a very viable idea here.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Moving into or going back to the Hamilton County area after graduation, I do realize that it is definitely more of an upscale market, especially higher up than the college students in our budgets right now. My main focus is, yes, I could foresee selling at a higher price, but I want to make it affordable. Like, one thing that I have really seen is that a lot of people feel that they have to compromise when it comes to what they spend versus the quality of products they're bringing into their home. And so I would hate for someone to see my products and think, wow, I don't make enough to pay for that, or I can't allow my family to have that, even though that's something they'd want to do.
Real quick, Lady, I know we're over time. Do you have any proprietary formulations on the recipe and the ingredients, or even on the scents? Like, what's going to set you apart from? I know there's tons of websites where you can go and figure out how to make your own.
Yeah. So all of it it's really the business leans on the fact that a lot of people, they can make their own cleaning products. Do they want to? Do they have the time to? Between kids, sports, work, and all the above, a lot of people just don't want to do it. They like the idea of being able to do it, but when it actually comes down to it, they might make it once or twice and then fall out of habit, and it's easier to just pick something up really quick. So that's more so what it's leaning on versus, oh, no one else can do this. It's that no one else wants to do it. Okay, thank you.
Wow, I know it's been a lot of work to give out these prizes, but we got to keep going. So, are you guys ready for prize number 4? All right, so who do we have?
We have Drake Boyer.
Drake Breuer? Breuer, there he is. Come on down. Another satisfied customer here at Grace College. Well, we're about the halfway point here. We're about to introduce our next presenter. Oh, don't forget, just a reminder, if you haven't done it, sign in for prizes. Ethan Stucky is our next presenter. Ethan is a sophomore accounting major, so you may be saying, how are accountants entrepreneurial? Well, you're going to meet an amazing entrepreneur here in a moment who is also an accounting major. And Ethan has another business that's in current operation. So we're looking at a lot of business owners here. They're not entrepreneurs, they're business owners too. So let's hear for Ethan, and let's hear what he's got to share with us. I love the energy. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today. As you said, my name is Ethan Stucky, and along with my partner, Garrett Walz, we are the founders of Walz and Stucky Holdings, a real estate company in Northwest Ohio. Today, I'm excited to be presenting our business plan in the hopes that you come alongside us and empower us to fulfill our mission. So without further ado, let's get into it. There we go. As I mentioned, the founders of this company are myself and Garrett Walz. Garrett, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, is a 20-year-old construction foreman with over half a decade of industry experience. He is currently pursuing his real estate license and has completed 2 full-scale renovations in the last 2 years. Personally, I am a second-year accounting student at Grace College, simultaneously working towards my MBA in conjunction with my undergraduate. After graduation in May of 2026, I plan to become a licensed CPA. My prior work experience includes roles as a credit analyst at Farmers and Merchants State Bank, where I analyzed, stress tested, and underwrote large-scale commercial and residential real estate deals. Garrett and my combined skills and expertise are the foundation for which we'll pursue our mission. Our mission is to provide affordable housing while changing the industry's perspective on landlord-tenant relationships. The first part of our mission is pretty straightforward, to provide affordable housing. There is an affordable housing problem in our country. We even see this in our rural area of Northwest Ohio. 800 square foot homes will go for well over 100K, rents creep up on household incomes, and homeless shelters overflow. We believe we have the skills, the calling, and the ability to solve this problem. The second part of our mission sometimes needs a bit more explaining, to change the industry's perspective on landlord-tenant relationships. When we were considering starting this company, we were saying, do we want to do this? We talked to people who we knew were in the space, and they told us these terrible stories about these terrible people who broke their stuff, didn't give them what was owed, did bad things to what they did own, and these people were tenants. And from the tenant side of things, we all know the stories about the merciless and dehumanizing landlord, and we said, why? Why does there have to be so much animosity and so much hatred between these two groups? And we said, that's something we want to change. As you can see, we are clearly influenced by Christian values and principles. And in keeping with this, we believe that through constant application of biblical relational standards, we can change how the industry sees tenants, landlords, and this interaction. Along those same lines, as I mentioned, we are influenced by Christian values and principles. And what I mainly mean by that is that we focus on redemptive business. Redemption, which signifies the act of being saved, can only truly be achieved through the truth of the gospel and the love of Christ. As such, in every interaction we have, we strive to point those whom we are interacting with back towards redemption, back towards the gospel, and thus ultimate salvation. As we look to the future, we plan to continually, responsibly, and sustainably expand. Eventually, we'd like to get into multifamily or single-family housing development. Our business model consists of two different avenues, the first being long-term rentals. We will rent anything from a single family to a duplex to a larger multifamily. To identify potential deals, we work closely with local real estate agents, brokers, in addition to our own personal connections. We price our rentals in the mid to low range of the market, which allows us to do two things. One, it gives us significant leverage in the tenant selection process. We can choose the people who we want. Two, by pricing in the mid to low range of the market, we actually are creating affordable housing. The second arm of our operations is much more straightforward, the house flipping arm. Here we target single-family homes in need of renovations that can provide us with a 20 to 30% return on cash invested within a 9-month time frame. As I've alluded to, we are in Northwest Ohio. What I mean by this is we are in Fulton, Williams, and Defiance counties. That's our primary market. This area offers us a plethora of benefits denied to our national competitors. For example, the median home price across the United States of America is $425,000. The median home price in our area, $155,000, significantly easing the burden of financing acquisitions. Additionally, rental vacancy rates in Ohio as a whole are near an all-time low of about 6%, and studies indicate that in our primary market, it could be even lower than 6%. Furthermore, there's a significant supply of antiquated housing units. Nearly a third of all the housing in our area was built prior to 1949. This ensures that the house flipping arm of our operations will have an adequate pipeline of supply. And finally, despite the clear need for affordable housing, it's not being accomplished. Studies indicate that there's a demand for about 100 new builds per county in our primary market every year. This stands in stark contrast to the significantly limited issuance of new builds, which average only 30 per year per county. So we need 100, and we're only getting 30. As he said, we were established on March 3rd, 2024, and we completed our first acquisition May 30th, 2024. It's a 3-unit property that consisted of a 2-unit townhome and a single mobile home. Upon acquisition, the downstairs of the townhome and the mobile home freshly renovated. However, the upstairs of the townhome was in need of significant work. This is what it looked like when we purchased it. That's the kitchen, bathroom, living room, bedroom. To our best estimates, the last time that thing was touched was in the 50s or the 60s. We actually did find newspapers in there from the 50s and the 60s. This is the after. So this is after renovations. Renovations took 9 months and costed $20,000. So you've seen what we did visually, but what did we do financially? Despite our negative net income due to the renovations, we had impressive other financial results. For example, upon acquisition, the property was appraised at $68,000. After our renovations, it reappraised for $112,000 by the same bank and the same appraiser, meaning we generated $44,000 worth of equity. Furthermore, the property is projected to produce cash-on-cash returns equivalent to 25% of our cash invested. It's operating at a 16% capitalization rate, and this is all under 80% leverage. As we look to the future, we plan to perform 5 acquisitions in the next 3 years. Starting with a house flip to be completed by the end of this year, we will then leverage those funds into the acquisition of a multifamily, complete another house flip, and purchase another multifamily. This will leave us with an average monthly cash flow of $5,000 per month and over $325,000 worth of assets. Now, that might sound a bit ambitious, but it's not too ambitious, and here's why. Due to the $44,000 worth of equity we generated in our current property, we now have access to a $36,000 line of credit. Using that $36,000 line of credit and our own personal contributions, we will be able to finance the house flip by the end of this year. After the sale of which, we will then revitalize our line of credit, have additional capital, which will leave us with about $50,000 to $60,000 worth of liquidity to finance further projects and acquisitions. In conclusion, we are Walz and Stucky Holdings, a dedicated real estate company in Northwest Ohio. With the money we hope to win here today, we want to do two things. The first being, in keeping with our focus on sustainability, we have specific internal cash reserve safety net goals set in place for our current property that, when fulfilled, will ensure that it continues to produce profits in the years to come. The second thing we'd like to do is, as I mentioned, we price our rentals at the low to mid-range of market. What that means is sometimes we get tenants who just aren't quite the best at managing their money. We would love to be able to invest in a faith-based financial management resource for our tenants that can, one, assist them with their faith, and two, either be an avenue to share the gospel with them or open up an avenue for us to share the gospel with them. Thank you for your time and concentration. I'm more than open to any questions.
I got a comment on the suit again, so well done.
Thank you.
You had a very strong intention as you talked, so kudos to that. And you also had a very strong ask and very clear and concise, so well done on the delivery. Housing can be pretty expensive. I love what you guys are trying to do. Where is some of your sources of funding? Let's say a tree falls on the roof, you don't have insurance, or there's just unexpected repairs, which can definitely happen in this industry. How are you guys prepared to kind of compensate for that?
Great. Part of that is the internal cash reserve safety net goals I was talking about. That is factored into there. The cash reserves are tailored to our specific expenses and expenses that we think could occur. So within that, we have money set aside for something like that. And the second thing is that line of credit also functions as a safety net. We don't ever plan on fully drawing that. That's kind of like a secondary safety net. So we are really focused on sustainability. That's our goal, is to continue taking steps forward, even if they may be slow, without taking steps back.
I would echo his great presentation. Typically, there's a tremendous amount of competition from other real estate investors. Is that not true also in Northwest Ohio?
It is true to a point. We're a very rural area. Many of our investors are just like farmers who bought a piece of land and there happened to be a house on it. There's not many portfolios that exceed 10 plus units. So many of our competitors, they would be competitors, yes, because they have rental housing, but they're not really intentionally looking to expand also. There is a small industry-sized presence in Defiance County, in Defiance specifically, but mostly where we're operating in small 3,000 people towns. So no industry, no large-scale investor goes there because there's not enough population for them.
And then it sounds as though your partner's already employed full-time job, correct?
Yes.
And he would maintain that job?
Yes, so this is our long-term plan, but it is a long-term plan. Real estate is not exponential in growth, right? It's slow and steady. 10, 15 years down the road, I would love for this to be our full-time. It would be great. For him, it's probably more quicker coming than me because he has the construction skills, the construction knowledge, and the construction network. So for him, our personal goal is within 5 years to have him be able to full-time flip houses.
I really appreciate that you tied in faith and purpose and with a strategy. And
Yeah.
I think that, especially around your value prop. So I would just challenge you to go faster and figure out how you get investors to go bigger faster, because it sounds like you've got a good partner and really well presented.
Who do you follow for mentorship and advice in this space?
Great question. So we have several advisors in different realms. Probably our biggest investor is a guy named Brad People. He's a strong Christian guy focused out of Fort Wayne. He has a rental portfolio of over 350 units. He's been doing it for 40 years. He primarily does development now, but he does own 2 large commercial real estate things. So it would be primarily him, but then I also have my dad, Garrett's dad, our family, things like that.
Last question for me. After the remodel or prior to the remodel, your average monthly rent was what? And then did you increase?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
When we acquired the property, the average monthly rent was sitting at about $612, which for our area, it's much lower than it is here. Now, average monthly rent, we have increased it to about $675, which is pretty standard, mid to low range of market, I'd say.
So how do you plan to use your dual degrees? Do you plan to be a CPA behind the desk or an MBA entrepreneur?
Well, like I said, this is a long-term plan, right? I would plan to be a CPA for 10 or so years, get experience. I enjoy doing accounting, so I'd be totally fine if I end up being an accountant. But this is cool, this is exciting, and I would love to do this in the long term, which is kind of where the MBA comes in. Additionally, to take the CPA exam, you have to have 150 credit hours as of now, so that's also where the MBA comes in.
I'm going to echo Josh. Affordable housing is a big issue. And
For sure.
So what you are doing in small markets, there's a lot of those pockets around the country.
For sure.
So I'm going to encourage you to figure out how to go faster and leverage your network and connections because there's a huge need just in those three counties.
For sure.
100
Yeah.
houses, they're only getting 30.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got it.
Cool.
So voting will, if you're going to see a 3D barcode here, voting can, I do want you to urge some patience because we still have two fantastic plans, but I did turn it on in the interest of making sure we have the availability. So you should be able to get to this in a moment. So let's, I know, Megan, we're almost there. So we need to give away some more prizes.
We have Peyton Riley.
Hey, Morale, come on down. So we need to keep moving. Megan Metzger, did I say that wrong? Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry. Is a senior in exercise science. So a good point here is you can compete in Grace College's business plan competition without being in the school business. Megan is a fantastic example of that. Which, if you are not in the school business, that entrepreneurial mindset can be found here in the school business, but it can be found elsewhere too. Megan's business, guess what, is another business that is operating. We have a lot of those, and she has some product that she just shared. So Megan, the floor is yours. Come on up and tell us about Fitness Babes.
Thank you so much, guys. That's my reason and that's my why. Fitness Babes is a clothing brand and is the only clothing brand that is focused around community just for women in Northern America. We are also one of the only 100% faith-based brands focusing on mental health and well-being through fitness. I'm not just selling clothes, I'm selling a healthier way of living, focusing on our local community with the hopes of expanding nationwide. By the way, my name is Megan Metzger. I'm a senior here at Grace College. So, I want to tell you a story. I started Fitness Babes in 2022 on a beach chair in the middle of summer. I completely bootstrapped this baby with $500 to put down for my first yacht. I saw a need for high-quality clothes, specifically for women. As I continued to build this brand, I found out it's not all about the product, but it's about the people we bring together with this brand. I started this brand because of my best friend, Claire, who unfortunately passed away 9 months ago. She's the reason why I started this brand. She pushed me to believe in myself enough to even start. And here's a quick clip to showcase that. Could we get the sound? Together, she was part of the Fitness Babes team. Everybody knew her as a spunky fun girl. She always had my back all the time whenever I needed her. There wasn't a time where we didn't have fun together, so I miss her so much, and so many other people do as well. We had our Fitness Babes photo shoot here at the Autumn Deer Farm today. We had Claire's family come. We blew bubbles. We celebrated Claire's life, and we were able to give her family a little something in remembrance of her. And we just spent a lot of time together, had a good time, laughed. That's what Fitness Babes is all about, is the community and creating that experience and showing that everybody is welcome and loved. So, we created a way for women to get to know each other with two common interests, and that is fitness and the desire for friendship. So, what exactly does a customer receive when they order a Fitness Babes set? They receive, obviously, a high-quality workout set, as you see in front of you. They also are automatically to our bi-monthly photo shoots and our Fitness Babes retreats. They also receive a 30-day, no questions asked return policy. By the way, we've never had an unsatisfied customer send back Fitness Babes. It's usually just because of sizing. They also receive Bible verses in every set. So, what is my target market? My target market is in between the ages of 18 to 30. But it is not held to just that number. As you see with Penny here, who is totally rocking the Fitness Babes outfit. There are 2.3 million individuals in Indiana. And of that, 10% fit my target market. That 10% is 230,000 women. And I hope to reach those individuals with your help. So, distribution channels. How do I plan to get Fitness Babes out there? I plan to have Fitness Babes in 10 locations, and right now I have Fitness Babes in one location, and that is Complete Health in Warsaw, Indiana. I also have an e-commerce website. This gives the customer the convenience of buying Fitness Babes from the comfort of their own home. And as of right now, I have 2 new locations in the work as we speak. Marketing. I plan to push Fitness Babes as far as I can this year with Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Metaverse. I also will be trying to get on TV and the radio. So, ambassador programs. What is that, you may ask? As an ambassador for Fitness Babes, they are able to advertise our clothing in their own unique way. They're also able to make commission. If a customer uses their customized code, here's a testimony from one of our current ambassadors. 3 things I love about Fitness Babes. If I had to pick only 3, I would say having clothing for all body types and changing bodies. As a girl, it's so hard to feel comfortable, and Fitness Babes has always impressed me. I love the value the brand has. I love being a part of a brand that is so much more than just clothing. The consistency of the clothing. I have ordered multiple times, and I have never been disappointed with the quality. That's my friend Tiffany right there. 8,436 individuals have viewed Fitness Babes in the past year, but only 1.65% of them have made it to cart. I want to increase that number by 10%, and with your guys' help, I plan to do so. I also would like to showcase the fact that my brand has only ever received 5-star customer reviews. Fitness Babes strives to always satisfy our customers. So why should you invest in Fitness Babes? You're investing in the wellness of our community. I plan to donate to the homeless shelter and to Bowen Health. You are investing in a business that values not just profit, but community. It values community. I'm asking for $10,000 for buying new product, hiring a videographer, a photographer, and renting out a physical location, and buying shelving. Invest in our community. Thank you so much.
Really nicely done.
Thank you so much.
I'm curious about your profit margin and who manufactures.
Yes, so my manufacturer is from China, and my profit margin is 60%. I buy my product for $15, and I sell it with an average of $41.50.
Is it custom? Like, is your supplier supplying you with very specific modifications that you're asking for, or is it more off
Yeah,
the shelf?
so I can customize it however I want. What I do is I order product, and if I like the consistency of the product, I order that in bulk. I also can customize my logo, the placement of the logo, and such things like that.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
You absolutely bring this whole thing to life.
Thank you.
Reading it on paper is very different from hearing your passion and your energy. So well done.
Thank you.
How many fitness babes are there?
Oh, so probably 400 as of now. Yeah.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. Hi.
Back to the supplier. Inventory has got to be, if you could speak to inventory as well as just the diversity within your line.
Yeah.
And, with 5-star reviews, it seems as though that either the fabric and material, the cut, why are you getting such high reviews if you're not actively involved with, the specifications of the product? Or maybe you are, but if you could speak to that.
So the people they can vote, or people. Can you ask that question one more time?
Yes.
Sorry, my brain farted.
So
Yeah.
with 5-star reviews, what is making your product special or different?
Oh, so it's the community. And honestly, it's a material. People love the material. They love the way that it fits. They feel confident in the gym, and that's why I received 5-star reviews. Yeah. Thank
What's
you.
the farthest you've shipped?
Utah. Yep, Utah is the farthest I've shipped.
How many iterations have you gone through and design changes, and what version number is this?
So that is version number, I would say, 50. I have been doing Fitness Babes for the past 3 years. Yes.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
So obviously tariffs are a
Yes.
big topic. Can
Yes.
you speak to that and if it's impacting your business?
So I actually just had to deal with tariffs. So I am planning on just increasing my prices by a tiny, tiny bit. And that's how I plan to do that. Yeah.
My wife's a client, I think, right?
Yes. Yeah, she actually is one that left a 5-star review on there.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just Googled your website and it came up first in the, really good.
SEO, search engine
Like that
optimization.
was impressive. So,
Mhm.
especially with that name. So, yeah, my follow-up was just on supply chain, and are you looking at any other countries to import from or any domestic manufacturing?
So as of now, I'm just looking at China, but in the future, hopefully the U.S. would be awesome. Yeah.
Have you considered like Amazon or other resellers that you could?
Yes. I've actually looked into that, and I plan to use Amazon. Yeah.
Talk to me about your retail strategy. You said you're in complete health already.
Yeah.
Do you have any sales there?
As of now, I just put it in there about 2 weeks ago, so my sales I've not seen much yet.
Got your first one yet?
Actually, I have. Yes, it was a sports bra. Yeah. Any more questions?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. It's all about creating brand equity and really what you're selling, to your point, of the community.
Mhm.
You're not really selling clothes.
Yeah.
So when you think of what your next year looks like, what are you doing personally next year?
So next year, personally, what am I doing?
Yeah, like are you thinking every week you're doing photo shoots, or you're like Like, how are you going to keep everything connected as you scale this?
So Fitness Babes is a community. And with that, when they order a set, I'm going to be automatically sending them an email. They're like, hey, we have a retreat coming up, and I want you guys to be there. And eventually I want to offer them like a discount. Like, say if they order Fitness Babes, like they can receive a discount to come to those retreats. Thank you so much.
Sorry, I'll rephrase the question. I'm thinking more like you have 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
How are, like, and you're the brand.
Yeah.
Like, that's people are buying it to be part of that community. Like, what's your strategy? Are you going to be traveling North America, hosting?
Yeah, so
conversations?
I want to hire a team so they can work for me while I'm like in Guatemala or Puerto Rico or wherever I'm at. Yeah, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Here's this for you.
Oh, thank you.
We're heading into home stretch. You guys have good energy. We keep it going. We've got our next presenter coming up. But before that, we want to do our sixth. There'll be one more after this, drawing. So who did we choose?
Austin Barnett.
Austin. Our last presentation is with Tyler. Tyler and I worked on this. I've been struggling. Breck Bell. Breck. Okay. Well, we are on a first name basis, so we just go with Tyler. And he is a member of the Grace College baseball team. And his business is in progress. It's not a concept, it's real, okay? And he's taking orders for his product also, so you're going to learn a little bit about that. Tyler is a finance major, but definitely with an entrepreneurial mindset. Let's hear about Recovery Plus from Tyler.
Hi, I'm Tyler Breckville. I'm a 19-year-old college baseball athlete and entrepreneur. Over the past 6 months, I've been formulating, researching, and building Recovery Plus, a sports nutrition supplement brand inspired by not only my personal struggles, but the struggles of other athletes as well. This is my story. Despite training hard and eating healthy, I was constantly dealing with injury after injury, chronic fatigue, and never feeling like I was performing at 100%. After lots of tests and research, I found I was mineral deficient and dehydrated. Due to this, my body was not recovering properly, and I kept dealing with injuries, which kept me from playing the sport I love, which was super tough mentally. That led me to create a clean, science-backed formula designed to help athletes like me recover better, perform stronger, and continue playing the sport I love. The current problem on the market, there's no all-in-one option, so people have to take 6 or 7 different supplements just to get what they need, which is super inconvenient and it's not cost-effective. A lot of these supplements are using harmful ingredients, so they're using artificial sweeteners, artificial dyes, artificial flavors, and additives like sucralose, which actually cause inflammation in the body, and it's doing the opposite of what they're buying these supplements for. Also, a lot of them are using underdosed or the lowest quality forms of these ingredients to increase their profit margins and not provide value to the customer. My solution is Champion Fuel. It's a creatine electrolyte blend with other vitamins and minerals. It's a clean, transparent formula designed specifically for athletes and their needs. It's a science-backed formula with third-party tested ingredients, and it simplifies your supplement routine from about 6 or 7 different supplements down to 1. My formula is 900 milligrams of sodium, 450 milligrams of potassium, 75 milligrams of magnesium, 5 grams of creatine, 1 milligram of zinc, 100 milligrams of phosphorus, 1 gram of L-glutamine, 2 milligrams of vitamin B6, and 1 gram of coconut water powder. So the reason I put creatine and electrolytes together, well, both of them separately are great supplements. They're very popular. Creatine helps with muscle growth and power output. Electrolytes helps with hydration and muscle function, but when they're put together, a recent study done on Division II athletes showed that it increases the power output because the electrolytes help absorb the creatine and help your body use them efficiently. Glutamine, on a study done on basketball players, it increased at the 1 gram dose that we're using exactly, increases reaction time and performance. Vitamin B6 in martial art athletes, it increases performance, the physiological response, recovery and immunity, and then phosphorus in endurance athletes in this study of cyclists, it increases their endurance and lowers heart rate. So our unit economics. So we have 1,000 minimum order quantity with the manufacturer. It's $10.90 a unit. Our shipping's estimated to be around $5. Our sale price is $45. Our profit per bottle is $28. On Amazon, it's more like $23 because they have some fees. And then we do not have a customer acquisition cost, but because we're not running ads yet, but we expect that to be around 20%, so about $9 to acquire a customer. The sports nutrition market, it's a $53 billion market by the end of the year. It's growing 8% annually, and 82% of athletes are already using supplements. I've proven my product market fit as I launched on March 25th and closed down pre-orders on April 6th, and I got $1,600 in pre-orders just by telling my story, and I have a 12-week ship time, so if I can get people to trust me with their money for 12 weeks, I think I can get someone to trust me with a couple of days ship time. So I closed down the pre-orders on April 7th because I really want to focus on a successful Amazon launch for long-term growth. So we've gotten 80 people on our email list so far, and I think it's been, I guess, 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks, and we've gotten 80 people, and we're looking to get 250. Our launch day is probably going to be the middle to end of June. So our competitive advantage, we're the only all-in-one formula on the market that includes creatine, zinc, phosphorus, L-glutamine, and vitamin B6. We use no artificial ingredients, and our formula is specifically designed for athletes and their needs as they have more tax on their body compared to other people, so they need stronger formulas. And we're really focused on the performance and recovery for athletes. Our marketing strategy. So we've already started 2 weeks ago. I started posting on social media. We've done pretty well. It's a little hard to post on social media when you don't have a product in hand, so it's just pixels on a screen. But I've just been telling the story behind the brand, the behind-the-scenes content, and doing educational content and why this provides value to them. We're also going to be doing paid ads in the future, but we don't have an ad budget, like I said. We'll also be doing influencer marketing, which I already have a couple influencers lined up that are baseball players that have a pretty good following that will do it. So our revenue source is going to be direct-to-consumer and Amazon. It'll be a subscribe and save model on both of those to increase the lifetime value of our customers. And then TikTok Shop will be doing the affiliate program. The reason I think we're going to do really well in TikTok Shop is because I have experience running brands on TikTok Shop. I currently do $60,000 in daily GMV across 6 brands on TikTok Shop with a team under an agency. And then a couple months ago, I led a supplement brand's growth from $8,000 a month to $30,000 a month by myself. And this has given me connections to the top creators in the space that are willing to promote my product as well. So that should give us a nice boost on launch. And then our funding, I've already invested $5,200 of my own money and $800 from the profit from the pre-orders. So our total contribution is $6,000. $5,400 went straight to the manufacturer to put the 50% down to start the production run. And then the rest went to the domain, the LLC, and the design. We still need $5,400 to go to the manufacturer to get our inventory in hand to fulfill these orders and get our inventory. And then we also need a trademark to protect our brand. And we need to redo the design because we need to put our flavor on there. We sold it as kind of like a mystery flavor in the pre-orders, which makes it a little bit even surprising to me. I got so many, and then we also need Amazon photos. So we need professional photos for our listings. My mission is to honor God by creating clean, effective supplements that help athletes recover, perform, and stay healthy, using faith-driven purpose to serve others and make a lasting impact in sports and wellness. My vision is to become the #1 most trusted supplement brand for athletes by redefining recovery and performance through clean, transparent supplements that are built to truly work. Recovery Plus isn't just another supplement. It's a brand built by an athlete for athletes. I've lived the problem. I've built the solution. Now I'm ready to scale it. Thank you, and I'd love to have you on this journey as we turn this formula into a trusted brand that makes a real impact. And then you can sign up for our email list using the QR code or just type in the website.
Really nicely done. Congratulations on the early success as well with the pre-orders. I'm curious, I don't need to tell you how saturated the market is.
Oh, yeah.
How did you cut through the noise in order to get this many pre-orders?
Yeah, so I think a good example of that is like creatine gummies. So like creatine is already a really popular supplement. People made creatine gummies and that was their way to the market. So I already took something that's already really popular, but I just made it a little bit better. And that's my way to the market. And then I'm also an athlete serving other athletes, so I can build that trust and the connection, which a lot of these supplement brands, you don't know who the owner is, you don't know who's behind it. And so I can build that one-on-one connection. Yeah, I'm not going to have, 10% of the market size. It's going to be, but a small percentage of that market is a very large revenue.
What sort of scale do you think this business can get up to?
Yeah, so I would say by year 5, want to be at an 8-figure run rate. I would say in year 5, if my goal is 10 million a year, not in revenue, not profit, and go from there.
Do you have other products lined up as well?
Yeah, so I really like the idea of having like the all-in-one solution. So I've thought about like immunity blends because athletes need to stay healthy for their seasons. I've thought about sleep supplements because sleep is really important with recovery. Also, like pre-workouts, really popular, and different supplements like that. And then I've also explored making recovery tools. I did that before I had this idea. I got a couple prototypes from a manufacturer. It didn't work out because of tariffs and stuff, but also into recovery tools and recovery stuff like that.
I was very impressed with the details in your business plan and the scope of what you've investigated in terms of even the regulatory piece, which is really my baby. It reads as though you have a very large corporation because the skill sets required to bring this together are very broad. I was curious about the team behind you and where you're having this made.
Oh yeah, so I'm using a third-party tested manufacturer in Texas. That's who I put the $5,500 towards. They're already making it right now. I think next week I should be getting a prototype, and then I'm just doing everything else by myself, bootstrapping it. I do eventually, I'm going to start by hiring VAs for like very simple tasks and stuff like that, but I enjoy doing this, so I think it's a ton of fun, so yeah.
Very cool.
I would echo your business plan. Everybody did a great job this evening, but your business plan was very, very impressive.
Thank you.
Talking about the scalability, though, the 5,000 or the 5,400, I forget, is going to supply your initial order, correct? But what kind of capital needs are you going to have once that's exhausted, or are the sales coming in going to be sufficient to place your next order?
Yeah. So the sales, like our profit margins are pretty large. I think on Amazon, like if we were doing PPC at like a 20%, it would be like a 33% margin. So I think before that, it's around 45%. Don't quote me on that. I know it was in the business plan, but I want to say it was around 45% margin on Amazon, which leaves a ton of room that we're not going to run into cash flow constraints unless we have a really big problem on our hands. But I also have investors that would come in that I've already explored that would give me the money I need if I run into cash flow problems. So, yeah. But most of it would come from the sales.
Are you at liberty to tell us what the flavor was?
Yeah. So it's either going to be strawberry lemonade, raspberry, or lemon lime. And there's similar electrolyte profiles on the market where the flavor comes from. And so I took their best-selling flavors, the highest reviews, and I'm going to sample those in the next couple weeks. So.
I think, speaking a little bit more on the formula, so those that will take your supplement, they probably take other supplements as well, right, when they wake up in the morning. Is there anything in your formula, like the zinc, for example, that they might have with other supplements throughout the day where now they're running the risk of having too high of a level or dosage issues?
Yeah, so I mean, the kind of the idea behind it is you wouldn't like, I know you just said zinc for just hypothetically, but a lot of supplements do not have like zinc unless it was like a skincare or something like that, because that's what its benefits are. And there's also recovery and performance benefits. But a lot of supplements are just one ingredient. There's not like a lot of all-in-one formulas, but there is some. Like there's a brand that just launched that's creatine, electrolytes, and collagen. That's somewhat similar to mine, but it's underdosed and it's still not solving the problem. So there is like supplements that do have these ingredients that are in it, but it's not at a dosage where it would be like toxic or harmful to someone to take both of them. Like creatine, the recommended is 5 grams of creatine, and we have 5 grams. Electrolytes, depending on like your need and how much exercise you're doing, you can take more electrolytes or less. You know, it's kind of just based on your needs.
Last question for me. How does your price compare to alternative solutions?
Yeah, so if you would add up all those like 7 different supplements, you're probably looking at least $80. Now, if you're buying the all-natural, highest quality forms, it would probably be around $90. But if you're taking the lowest quality, you know, ones you can buy at any store that have additives in it, they're lower dosages, it would probably be about $50 for all of those. So it's about the actual quality, and that's kind of where the education content comes in and what value I'm providing and behind that. So. Thank you.
So we have to bid our judges farewell for just a short period. They will be proceeding upstairs. I think it's room 201, which is at the landing. So Dean Fawcett will escort you guys up there. They'll be gone for probably 20, we don't know. It's like jury deliberation here. So it's a tough job because they've got some tough choices. But in the meantime, we're going to, I want you to scan this barcode if you haven't. We're going to do one more drawing, of course, but it's your judging vote time. So please go online, and we will give out your vote along with theirs in about maybe 20 minutes. So the last prize. Who is batting cleanup?
Abigail, I think it's Keen. The spelling's a little funny.
Okay. All right. So we have 2 more things. I'm going to leave this up here for a moment to make sure everyone can get it. We have two more presentations of sorts. We are going to talk with Micah here in just a moment. And we have our local high school venture that we'll also bring up. We're going to start with Micah. So, Micah, I believe the mics are live, so we can work together here. So, can you recognize the man in the picture here? Yeah, so if you leave, you're not going to find out who wins. So no pressure there. But
Just a little
Micah,
bit of
did we get the year right?
I do believe so. It's been a little while since I was standing up here.
Okay. So Micah is a winner of this competition. And what year did you graduate?
I graduated in 2019.
2019. So in 2019, Micah graduated from Grace College. And can you tell us what was your degree?
So my undergrad was in entrepreneurial management, and then I did the blended MBA as well.
Okay, so I know we got a lot of movement. We'll just pause for a second to get folks settled here. But we're going to advance the slide. So share us the motivation. Was this the business plan concept back in 2018?
So what we started with, and this was a company that I actually much like a lot of the other people here that were presenting today, it was a company that I had started with my dad, and we kind of eased into moving forward into my college time. And then when the business plan competition came up, it gave me the opportunity to compete for funding, which the funding was tremendous help. So a little bit about the business.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So we were a custom furniture company. We ran it for about 5 years, and about 3 years ago we decided to liquidate, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But the company was focused around sourcing old wood from old barns and building furniture out of that reclaimed lumber. So it was super hot ticket in the market for a little while, where everybody was looking at these old buildings, and everybody had that sense of nostalgia of Grandpa's old barn, and it was coming down, and we were able to salvage some of that lumber and create heirloom furniture out of that.
Yeah, and I think I have some pictures, and those who are watching on the live stream can also see this. So give us a little feedback on the slide here.
Yeah, so again, we were doing the sourcing of the material from old turn-of-the-century barns. This one was in DeKalb County or Allen County, I don't remember which, but it was a 1880s barn that we were able to take material from and give it a new life.
And the rest of the slides are products. So I've got about, I think, 4 or 5 here. So let me actually look at my notes real quick. Before we do that, can you share a little bit about family and this business? Because I know I have the inside story. So
Yeah.
I think everyone would like to hear that's here in the room.
So a little bit of background is this was actually all about Dad, who's here with us today. Dad was in a car accident back in 2011, and he had a mild traumatic brain injury. And there were a lot of things he couldn't do after that car accident, and it's taken him years to heal. So part of that recovery was getting Dad back into woodworking. It was something that he could still do a little bit of. It got him off the couch. It kind of gave us a reason to keep Dad going. And from there, we created a business because the orders came and they didn't stop.
So I know there's some work close to this classroom. Where's some of the nearest evidence of that work? So some students here have probably seen it.
Yeah, I think we've got some work over in Mount Memorial. We've got some work over at the new science building. Well, new science building. It was new when I was here. I think we've got some stuff over at McLean as well. So a few projects around campus.
Isn't there a wall of reclaimed wood? I don't know if that was your work,
Yeah,
too.
over in the recording studio over at the Mail Center.
Yeah,
I think.
maybe that's our in the wellness center.
Yep, we've got stuff over there too. You're right.
Yeah. So there's fingerprints or evidence all across campus of your business plan, which is really cool. Let's show
Grace
some
College
more.
was a good customer.
Yeah. Got some beautiful stuff here.
So we did custom, commercial, and residential type projects. A lot of bar top work, a lot of custom tables, a few conference tables here around campus as well, and it's just a little bit of everything. Part of it was with that reclaimed wood. We also had a small sawmill that we would cut live edge furniture, slabs from trees that we would salvage as well.
So as an alumnus, looking back many years now, this night back 2018, what would you share with students today? Like how impactful or not impactful, we haven't asked this question, to you and your family was this experience? You can be as broad as you want, but the competition or your classes?
Well, I think part of it was just the opportunity to be able to present and meet people, and I mean, Grace College became a great customer.
Mm-hmm.
So there's different things that we were able to processing here. I've got to make sure that I give you something good, which, not my strong suit. But just being able to connect with the community, learn things from the professors, with the judges. I mean, several of these judges I have been able to stay in contact with as well, and just a great way to learn the community as well.
That's great, yeah. So we've got some photos. I think I have one more. I want to make sure. Yeah, we got some. So was this one here with the clamps? Was that your workshop?
Yeah, so we had a workshop in Mentone, so about 20, 25 minutes from here. The money from the business pant competition helped us with some equipment. I mean, the sander behind that door is a, $6,000 piece of equipment, and the money that I was able to get from the judges here, helped a lot with being able to get some of those startup costs covered and be able to have the tools that we needed in order to perform.
That's great. So we got the evidence piece. So I know you chose to do Barnwood Masters, but there was a decision to also conclude that. I'm sure some people are interested. It's a good ending, I believe. So don't. I'm spoiling it a little bit, but share a little bit. What was the decision process?
Well, it was twofold. So part of it, the company was started to, again, get Dad back into a place where he was able to get back into the workforce and heal from the car accident. And over that 5-year time frame, I think that worked very well. I mean, he's a general manager over at Lake City Restoration right now, which is one of the sponsors for today. So he's been able to recover a lot from that point. The other part, I started it when I was in college. When we closed it, I had a wife and 2 kids. So some big life changes along the way there as well.
Yeah. So you're not reclaiming wood anymore, but you are doing something. So share what you're doing now and how your business training here has helped you.
So after Barnwood Masters, I moved over to Pike Lumber, and I was one of the supervisors over there for a couple of years. And it was a good fit from an experience standpoint, but I had that entrepreneurship bug, and working for somebody else didn't last super long. I now work with my brother, and we have a nuisance wildlife company.
Right.
So we chase critters in people's houses, and that's the new fun thing.
And does that keep you busy?
Yes, it does.
All right. So there's quite a number of critters that need chasing around here. So so as you look back on here, what would be a few things of advice to the contestants or even students who may want to be in this next year or the year after? Any words of advice or recommendations?
So right now in college, you have the best network of people who want you to succeed. Take advantage of that. Talk to professors, talk with other people in the community. Having that network is critical.
Great. Well, thank you, Micah.
Yeah.
And thank you for Lake City Restoration and your father's initiative to be a sponsor. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you. Actually, we've already gotten rid of our drawings here. So we are now up for our high school ventures. And Matt, I believe the one unique thing here is that is a Canva slide I couldn't download. So we may need your help to get that to display. All right. So it's in the notes, or you can click on the Abundant Life name. But could we have our 2 students from Lakeland Christian come on down? And I'm gonna give you guys the mics. So I'm gonna step away. And let's work through the technology here. Who's gonna get it? But let's get you introduced. Share your names.
Yeah, my name is Simon Avey,
I'm Claire Schindel.
and we're from Lakeland Christian Academy.
What's the name of the company? I know they see it. Go
Oh
ahead,
yeah,
tell us.
Abundant Life Company.
They're going to tell us as we wait to make sure we're set up, but Amy Rowe, who is, Amy, could you just quickly tell us the name of the organization that helps sponsor the local entrepreneurs?
Yes, so we have student entrepreneurship program in which we work with 5 different schools, hopefully 6 soon, and we provide an opportunity for students to go through an entrepreneurship boot camp, 8 classes, and they learn about the basics of starting a business and have an opportunity to win prize money, not for 10,000, but it's called the Housekeeping Challenge. So if you go to a high school student, your parents will be able to be part of that.
So not do we have entrepreneur mindset here at Grace College, but on our campus, we have a lot going on here. It's just one excellent evidence. Coming in, Matt. Oh. No.
Well, we have it.
Because I don't, so little time out where we work through that.
We can figure that out.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Sorry. Get that set up there in a second.
And as a caveat, Glenn, I'm a Grace College grad, so I always make sure that our showcases are hosted at Grace College because I have the opportunity to make that happen. So.
These students showed off their skills in a week ago tonight, actually. Yeah. And there are quite a number of impressive high school students. I teach entrepreneurship, and I'll have to say I was really wowed. So there's a lot of skill in our community out there. Hopefully we're getting closer here. So. If you haven't done it, did you vote? Go. If you need that, while we're doing that, I will back up to hopefully, well, it looks like I'm not even able to do that yet. So hopefully you voted. All right, I think we're definitely close because I've seen these slides. So it looks like we're in the right spot. Okay. I'm going to let you guys take over here. I'm going to exit real quick because you know what I have to do? I got to figure out who you voted for. So I will be back in a moment. You guys take over.
Thank you so much. So our company's name is Abundant Life Company. As we said before, we are a pro-life apparel business. And we are part of the Kosciuszko Student Venture Program, where we were able to start the start of this school year, so in August. We created this business from the scratch, and I was able to work with my partner Claire, and then we also have one more that was not able to be with us. So we were able to learn from a lot of different mentors on how to do this.
Okay, so our mission is to give the ordinary person the opportunity to invest in something bigger. And we believe that this can be done through the pro-life movement. We are very passionate about educating and empowering young people in this movement. And we also want to be a voice for the voiceless and stick up for those who cannot stick up for themselves. We also really just believe that the pro-life movement does not mean anti-woman, and we want to support both the children and the woman. John 10:10 is our main verse, and it says, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly." So we called our company Abundant Life because we believe that everyone is called to an abundant life in Christ. And we want to allow every single child and person to have this opportunity. So we want to protect the children's chance at an abundant life no matter how small they are.
Yeah, and one of our main motivations of mixing this idea with an apparel business was a trend that's been picking up a lot is trendy clothes with a mission or a passion that you want to show. So having a piece of clothing that you're able to one wear because it looks kind of cool, and then also be able to show something that you're passionate about and be advertising for this movement that you care a lot about. So during our time of starting this business, we wanted to do a little bit of research and a survey on people that we know, so those in our school, in our churches, in our community, just to get off on the right foot. So one of them was just the pricing, seeing what people would pay for a quality t-shirt of this kind compared to a lot of different companies that are similar to this. Our target market for this company is middle school to high school and early college, but obviously this is open to anyone who would like it. And then we also were just seeing sizes for our first batches, seeing how to start off on the right foot. And then our financial predictions for our business, we have one of our suppliers was one of our mentors through the Kosciuszko County Student Venture Program, and he cares a lot about, one, the pro-life movement and young entrepreneurs and helping us, and has been able to give us a lot of helpful tips. He also owns his own apparel printing business through Tippecanoe Valley, so he was able to help us, give a lot of really helpful tips, and give us a great starting cost, which is $12 per shirt. We're selling the shirts for $25, which brings our profits to $13 per shirt. We're ordering batches of 25, so our personal total cost for one batch is $300, and then our revenue is $625. And with our numbers, a way to really just emphasize the pro-life movement was we wanted to contribute 20% of our profits and donate to a cause, which we have chosen Heartlight Pregnancy Center, which is right here in Warsaw, and they help with expecting mothers with items and healthcare and just steps through this confusing process sometimes. And so that 20% donation would be $2.60 per shirt, which we would love to accumulate and then give a large sum to them.
Okay, so this is our first design. He's going to hold it up. So as you can see, there's a smaller print on the front and then a larger one in the back. We've seen that this layout is very popular. We see this in Jesus Loves You Company, Elevated Faith, and He Would Love First, which are some other popular Christian brands. And so we know this is a popular design. And then if you want to go to the next slide. This is the front one, so it says Abundant Life Co., just our name, and then a flower, and then the back says Choose Life with flowers, just to the flowers represent growth and life and how we want everyone to have the chance at an abundant life. And then the Choose Life is just we want to support life and we want to encourage people to stand up for what they believe in and choose life. This is the second design and similar layout, just it's a different color, and then instead of flowers there are vines. You can go through. So there's that, the front again, and the back. And then again, just the vines represent growth and life and what we believe in.
And through this also, the material, I wish you guys could feel it, but it's more of a heavyweight and oversized material, which is very popular now, something that's weighted, and just that style in general is something that our generation really likes.
And then our packaging details, we want to add tissue paper and put in stickers eventually, and then also add a handwritten note just to give it that personal touch and thank our customers for investing in the pro-life movement that we really believe in. And then also we want to put an informational pamphlet just to explain what the pro-life movement is, why it's so important, and how they are investing in it.
And then also our advertising right now is one through word of mouth and our connections already. We do have a social media and a company email for sending orders in and just seeing our progress and things of that sort. And then also we have started to sell some shirts, which has been really exciting for such a small startup. So we've been able to learn a lot, just keep growing. And in the future, we would love to do more different types of apparel, bracelets and things of that sort to really just spread the message and get super popular. So we've learned a lot from this venture, and I'm just ready to be more of an entrepreneur. So thank you for your time.
Well, the judges are coming down. They have a decision and a few surprises, too. So we're going to wait for the judges to come down. If all the if those who are participants, it'd be good for you to make your way to the lower level, because you'll get some feedback, and of course you may have a big check. I missed it, but I see sales going on in the back row there. That's excellent. So if you're curious, there are a lot of votes out there for the People's Choice Award. You did a good job. So for our participants, please do not run away. It's similar to other events like weddings and such. There is photos to be taken. So we do want you to stick around for some group photos. And another piece of those lovely photos that everyone saw outside. We had a lot of help to put this together, but one group in particular was our marketing team. If you saw those photos out there, they're amazing. They did a great job. Each of you, take home your photo. That's for you. All right, we have our judges, but we're still missing our staff. So we need to wait for Dean Fawcett potentially. Was it look like he was making his way down, or he was busy? Maybe not. Unsure. Yeah. So I'm going to hand the mic over. You guys maybe need to turn your heads a little bit. We're going to have some feedback, and then we'll. You can come up here.
Okay, while they're penning everything and putting the certificates together, my name's Caleb. Thanks for being here. They asked me to put some feedback together from the judges. So this is not my feedback. If you hate it, it's theirs. If you love it, it's also theirs. I do want to say something about entrepreneurs. I believe entrepreneurs are very special in all the ways to say that. I am one, so I am biased. But entrepreneurs fundamentally are doers. They see the world a certain way, they see opportunities, and then they take action on it. So each of you, many of you are having businesses that are already in motion. Congrats. Those that are not, if you're serious about it, by all means take next steps. I know the judges, most of them, they're great people. If you're looking for mentors, I'm happy to be a resource. I would imagine they probably are too, but they didn't confirm that. So if you're serious about next steps, we'd love to see that. I'm going to give a little bit of feedback in no particular order to each of the businesses. And this is just our recommendation of next step. If you're serious about moving forward, what would that action look like? Grainless, I would say start posting on social media if you're not already. Start building that audience and see if you can sell one product. Maybe that's the recipes, maybe that's a cookbook, but try to build that community just like some of the other groups have been doing. Greenhouse, raise your prices, particularly on the delivery. $2.49 is going to be pretty difficult. And I think with your niche, I think you could definitely get higher prices, especially on that delivery. And then go do a fair or a festival. Get started, find those first few customers. You're going to get incredible feedback from that. Stucky, wish your partner could be here. Is he a great student too? Okay, so you're courting an outsider. Like most of us said, move faster. I think the need is very strong. I think your intention is very strong. Try to figure out how to ramp up. Again, don't take on too much leverage. Dave Ramsey says, liquor, ladies, and leverage can destroy a man. So be very careful with that one. Recovery Plus, get an advisory board. You're doing a lot of things well. Try to get investors if you can. Perhaps you won't need that, but again, it's a crowded space, and make sure you have a good, strong team of mentors. Fitness Babes, potentially look to find a partner or a mentor who's experienced in business. You're phenomenal at growing the community. You've already done it. That's very commendable. See if you can find someone to complement that skill set for you. And then think about reducing reliance on China. Just with tariffs and uncertainty, it's going to be really interesting times for you. But welcome to entrepreneurship, because you never know what's going to happen. And then College Companion, really think hard about what an MVP, what a minimum viable product would look like in this space. Trying to do everything is going to be very expensive, possibly $500,000 to $1 million. And if you could do that in 8 to 10 years, I will hire you to build lots of software because that's very aggressive. So make sure you, if you're serious about bringing this forward, go talk to people that would buy it, talk to schools, get their feedback, and we would challenge you to pick one area, whether that's finance, whether that's scheduling. Build that out first. Once you prove that, you can add all the other things over time. And again, I love what you're trying to solve. See if you can bring that to market. All right, that's all our feedback. And I think they'll come in with awards here shortly.
Well, we gave some thanks to our marketing department. Let's give a round of applause for Matt, who was our AV engineer, making us sound good. Thank you, Matt. And she's not here, but when she comes in, Tammy Meyer is our office and department program coordinator. She keeps the lights on here, and she's doing that right now, making sure that certificates and such. So when she comes in, we need to give her a round of applause. But she's working hard right now. So hopefully they're coming down. We know who are the winners. We're just waiting for some documentation. So let me go look. So, Dr. Fossick, come on down. We can get everyone's now. It's a lot of work. Okay, so we want to start with our third place, correct? Or fourth place. That's right. So, there's some late-breaking news. We've had an increase in funding. So, yes. So, our fourth place winner is, for $1,000, the greenhouse.
Congratulations. We're going to take pictures at the end, if that's okay, with the big cheesy check.
Yeah, and we need to add some signatures to that, too.
Yeah, that is true. We're missing one.
Third place for $2,000 is Fitness Babes. Second place for a prize of $3,000 is Walz and Stucky Holdings. Now, we still have 2 more prizes. We're ready for our first ever Grace College Business Plan People's Choice Award for $1,000. Walz and Stucky Holdings.
Congratulations again.
All right. Our first place winner for a total of, make sure I've got my numbers right, $5,000. You have to check your math. Is Recovery Plus. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. It's been a couple hours, so we know it took a little endurance, but we really appreciate it. So thank you again. Thank you, judges, for all your hard work, and our sponsors. Our winners, we need to stay a little bit more, a few more photos, and then we'll let you loose. So thank you, everyone. Have a good night.